Hey everyone, Updog here, and today I got a special guest to Pathfinder Gaming, and it kind of started, the conversation started a little bit earlier today when I was trying to get some advice from him on who I should build next for my war teams, because I'm almost done with New Avengers, and I'm like, well, what should I start focusing on next? I got a few options I wanted to have him take a look at and give me some advice since he's a little bit higher in war than me, so I thought he would be able to give me some pointers and hopefully help you guys out too. So, first up is A-Force, and I did take Photon to DD6. I'm in Cosmic right now, but I know they're pretty good utility. So, what are your thoughts on A-Force? What are the pros and cons, Pathfinder?
Yeah, so first pro, Photon is an excellent choice. Obviously, she's a staple, I think, for Dark Dimension now.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is that a lot of comps don't actually even need Photon to be a part of them. I think Photon might actually be more useful on the full or SD team, or you could use SD with Quicksilver to do a lot of crazy matches, or just in general. Secret Defenders are a much more like master key team, and A-Force with a character like Silver Surfer is still gonna beat a lot of the meta. It's still gonna beat it's still gonna beat teams like Weapon X. It's still gonna beat teams like Death Seed. It's still gonna beat Heroes for Hire. It's still gonna beat a lot of those war defense teams that you're seeing a lot of at this stage, as long as you have them built up to a reasonable level where say you could do pretty large punch-ups, is what I'm trying to say, with A-Force Surfer. It's actually a really great team, just to be able to punch into them. The really key characters on A-Force, number one is going to be Nico, because of the ults where she's putting trauma on, I think, 3 characters and putting a lot of negative effects. She's very important. And then the next important character is going to be Spider-Woman. She is going to deal a ton of damage, and she's going to put an ability block on the primary target. But with the rework, she just is hitting like a truck now. And so just with those two alone, you're taking out a lot of whatever team that you're likely to be facing.
Okay.
So I would definitely say those two are worth bringing up a little higher, maybe 85 G15 as a start, because that's really going to give you a lot more firepower on your A-Force team.
Okay. Yeah, I did Jessica Jones for Gamma before, the Gamma 4.5 raids before Secret Defenders came out, so she's pretty nice. She actually hangs in there pretty well. But yeah, Nico, she gets destroyed pretty quick, and Spider-Woman, she does all right. But yeah, I have heard that her damage is pretty nice. Now, what about Captain Marvel? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I look at Captain Marvel as a little more utility for the team. So obviously her ult is going to be unavoidable on that, and it does clear evades with the little proc that happens afterward. And then her special is actually really nice because it gives the team turn bar when you use it. I think you might have to have the T4 for that. But in terms of like the team as a whole, she's probably the least important member of the A-Force team at this point.
So once again, a reworked character becomes one of the least important members of the team. All right. How about Underworld? What are your thoughts on Underworld?
And Underworld is really, really good. They're falling off. When they first came out, they were obviously the Darkhold counter, right?
Yeah.
I would say at this point they're used on some lesser teams, because Darkhold, by itself usually isn't a thing. There will sometimes be cases where you can still use them on a Darkhold. The two most important members are Taskmaster and Mr. Negative by far. And then the third most important character is Kingpin.
Okay.
Now, that's not to say that Green Goblin and Nobu aren't important. It just is that Nobu specifically is basically there to give counters to the team. And Green Goblin is very effective, especially when a character goes into stealth. So if like on a Darkhold fight, if a character goes into stealth, Green Goblin will do a bunch of extra damage to that character.
Yeah.
But the 3-piece of Taskmaster, Negative, and Kingpin are really what sets this team apart in terms of war offense. Now, if I don't know if I would say they're necessarily better than A-Force. I think both of them are widely used on offense. I think both of them can counter a lot of the meta and a lot of the similar meta, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
Both these teams do close to, the same things on a lot of different teams. But the nice thing about Underworld is that they go so quickly. A lot of times you're using them because of how fast they're going. So like if you have a more speed based defensive team, you could use Underworld to outspeed them and try to get rid of characters before they go. A-Force is fast, but they're not as fast as Underworld.
Okay, that's good to know.
But I would put them both similar. I do think A-Force is probably the better war team overall right now.
Okay. Well, that's good since I have a little bit more invested in the A-Force than I do than I do Underworld. I'd have to put a few more resources into them to get them up and going. So against Darkhold, how big of a punch up can they do on Darkhold?
So it really depends on the gear tiers. So like if you're taking in, a G15, Underworld, you're probably going to punch up into G16, maybe a couple characters at G17. But it's going to be a lot more difficult to do that. But if you have them all, G16 and like level 90, they can punch up. And I've seen as much as like 800, 900k into Darkhold.
Wow.
But you definitely have to have the right T4s and placement is the thing that matters on this team too. But overall, Mr. Negative, Taskmaster, and Kingpin, those three being bigger can definitely carry you a good bit in those fights. The main thing that you want to have happen specifically in the Darkhold fight is that you want to get MLF to, I just say, kill herself. So she uses her ult, and then everyone retaliates. And because she's blind, she'll miss, but everyone retaliates and then kills her. So that's that's kind of the strategy with Underworld into Darkhold specifically.
So they need to be big enough to be able to kill her with the counters then. Gotcha.
Right, and Kingpin only really needs to be built big for his minions. His minions do a lot of work in those fights. And with him being bigger, them taking the stats from his overall stats, that's why Kingpin needs to be up there with 3.
Do you think my ISO on Kingpin is okay, or?
Yes, Fortifier is the way on Kingpin, 100%.
Okay, cool. Well, at least I got some things right on there. All right. The third team that I was contemplating is going to be Black Order. Now here, actually, let me do Cosmic Villains, which I think I sent you. That's how I kind of sorted it out, so that way you can see everybody all at the same time. All right, so here we go. I think that's everybody. Yeah, just kind of spread out a little bit. So Black Order. The test server that we did testing on, we have some suspicions on that, it wasn't quite updated, and that's what gave us some wrong information. So what has been your experience in the live server with Black Order?
Yeah,
I know you had a video
Black
on it.
Order is...
I'll link it.
Black
down in the description, but go ahead.
Black Order is really sneaky good now. The reason that they're so good is because of how quickly Thanos goes, and the mechanic of flipping all positive effects to negative effects and flipping all negative effects to positive effects on your side. It's a massive advantage for your team. And at least right now, I'm seeing Black Order on defense again. And it's one of those teams where you really have to commit something good against them in order to beat them. I mean, the default is Infinity Watch, but
Right.
Infinity Watch is also a really good counter to a lot of other things.
Yeah.
But Black Order right now, with the buffs to mutants in this current meta, Weapon X has been kind of a staple on defense.
Yeah.
Unlimited X-Men has been a staple on defense. I see, even where I'm at, New Warriors can be on defense quite often as well, and they just smash all of those teams. I mean, we're talking
Really?
like against Weapon X, we're talking, 300k punch-ups. Against Unlimited, you're talking similar. Against New Warriors, it's even bigger punch-ups. Against them, it's pretty significant in terms of the team, and you don't even necessarily have to have them yoked out to take advantage of them.
Okay.
Which is the nice thing. I think a lot of people, if they were playing during the Black Order meta, probably have them right now at a good enough spot to at least take advantage of them.
Yeah.
Because not every defense you're gonna see is gonna be crazy G16, G17.
Right.
You might see defenses that are G15. Black Order could just smash that. Like Heroes for Hire, if it's a small Heroes for Hire, Black Order will crush that.
Oh, really? Nice.
So it's a nice. I actually feel it's a nice little rework for a lot lot of players.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But out of the three teams that you
yeah.
talked about, I think that A-Force is definitely priority 1.
Okay.
And then Underworld would be priority 2, followed by Black Order. I think.
Okay. All right.
If you're talking war specifically.
Well, have you
Now-
seen... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to
Yeah,
say,
you're fine.
have you seen Black Order and Crucible? Because I have seen it a few times, and I heard it's pretty rough.
I've heard the same thing. I kind of wonder if it's just because of the room rules in Room 6 being the thing.
Right.
But Black Order might be, in general, better than Underworld, like everywhere.
Okay. Yeah.
In war, I kind of think that Underworld still kind of has a good place in the meta right now. But if you're talking like overall significance, Black Order might be a better investment than Underworld, like in total.
Yeah. How about, do you think overall it would be better than A-Force?
Oh man,
Put you on the spot.
I overall probably.
Yeah.
Because Thanos goes so fast, and when you have the whole team together, you really can do some damage on somebody if you can get the right things to happen as far as like the flip.
Right.
But yeah, in terms of war, I don't think they're better than A-Force,
okay.
but everywhere they might be.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, I played during the Black Order meta, and this is, I think I only bumped Cole and Corvus up a little bit when they had the Nowhere Siege or whatever. But yeah, I haven't really touched him since then. So yeah.
Yeah, Corvus is, I want to say, top. I know for a fact he's top 5 damage now.
Wow.
I'm trying to remember if he's actually number 1 in damage now or not.
Wow.
I'd have to look that up, but he is dealing significant damage now.
Extra assists now with Proxima 2. Yeah, I've seen that, and it hurts.
Yeah, for sure. I think he is okay. He's 7th in damage at this point.
Not bad.
So
who's number 1?
it's still Vol.
Okay, Vol. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so yeah, we were talking about how I approached Path is like A-Force or Underworld. Are they like a top 12 team in war? Because I usually do two extra attacks. So do you think all 3 of these teams are still like top 12 or?
When you're looking at like needing 10 defensive teams and needing 10, like in your case 12 offensive teams, I could definitely see a place where all 3 of them make that list. It really depends on how offense heavy you are, because if for example you're using Gamma on offense, Darkhold on offense, SD on offense. Like if you're using all that on offense, then I think Black Order would be a perfect set it on defense and hope that somebody underestimates it type of team.
Yeah.
But Underworld and A-Force are, in my mind, for sure top 12 offensive teams still.
Okay. Awesome. Yep, I actually use Gamma APOC on defense, and then that's probably my toughest one, I guess. So I have like Nowhere and Secret Defenders and stuff like that. So, all right,
very
awesome.
Cool.
Well, appreciate you joining me. Thanks for
thanks for having me, Updog.
Yeah, no problem. And yeah, thanks for watching the video. Appreciate it. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will leave. Oh, it's this way. No, this way. I will leave this guy's link to his Black Order video that he had recently, and to his channel. I'm sure if you're watching me, you're probably already watching Pathfinder. But again, appreciate it, and thanks for coming on, Path.
Thanks so much.
Yep. Catch you guys later.